Alfredo 2 is one of those albums where you split the spotlight between great rapping and great production. I think when Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist get together, it's magic no matter what. Coming off that Clipse album, this is another one of those ones that makes me feel like 2025 has a little bit of hope in it when it comes to music. It was a slow year the first half, but this second half seems like we going downhill on some really good shit. So this week, I'm going to give you guys my review of Alfredo 2.
The STEM Society.
Welcome back to the STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson. This is your weekly album check-in. Wednesdays are always for reviews, and this week I got one for Alfredo 2. This is the return of the best rapper-producer duo in the game right now. Like, if you haven't heard what these two can do when they get on the album together, man, you're completely missing out. If this is your first album, you're welcome. When they did Alfredo 1, they actually got Grammy nominated, and that was pretty cool. We actually got to kind of sit with that album a little bit more too because it was during the pandemic time. This one had more of a promo run. They had very, very high expectations put on them when they announced the album, and they even put out a film right before the album dropped. So is this a strong follow-up to Alfredo 1? Is this a real album of the year contender? Alfredo 2 drops with 14 tracks. It's 48 minutes long. You might have heard this from other people, but you're going to hear it from me also. Freddie Gibbs has one of the best album runs in hip hop right now. It's been going since fucking Pinata. He has been in his bag. There's no reason why somebody like him has been rapping this consistently for this long. But I don't think there's another rapper out there who's actually matching this run or actually doing as much as he's doing as far as his album drops. And I feel like Freddie Gibbs is not talked about enough. I think he's underrated, just like a lot of other rappers out there in the game. Freddie Gibbs is one of them niggas that's going to give you a great experience when it comes to his albums, and this is no exception. And then Alchemist. I have been on record of saying we need to start having Alchemist in the conversation a lot more. I think he's top 5 all time, and he's slowly moving up, creeping up in my top 3. Like, he is one of those people who gives us very great production. He gives us a lot of atmosphere in his albums. Like, the Alchemist just kind of knows, like, he's been in the game for so long, he knows how to lay shit down for a lot of artists. And this album is no exception. He literally has 2 album of the year contenders this year with Life is Beautiful and Alfredo 2. So while I'm talking about Alchemist, let's get into the production. I completely feel like it's flawless. There's no bad beats on this album. It's nothing on here that I do not dislike. Like, I don't skip anything. It's some songs that I don't want to fuck with because I don't like the themes of them. But production-wise, I let this go from front to back. Plus, one of the biggest things on here that I've noticed and I enjoy the most is these guitar loops that he put in 2 specific songs in 1995 and in Lavish Habits. Like, 1995 is like the very first song on the album. But that guitar, when he flips the beat, that guitar loop, nasty. The Lavish Habits guitar loop, nasty. Like, I don't know where he finds these samples. I don't know how he chops up his samples. I don't know his process. I've seen him do it on Instagram, on IG Live before during the pandemic. I've seen his record collection on IG Live, and he is one of those people who has a ton of music everywhere. And I don't know where his ear, he uses his ear to find this shit, but it is amazing. He has built up such a great atmosphere on this album. It's ridiculous. Alchemist is one of the best people when it comes to transitions too. Like, the intro is very, very hard. Then you move into like more of a chill vibe with Mar-a-Lago, and then you get more into some psychedelic shit with Lemon Pepper Steppers. Like, his shit is so fucking meticulous and so good. And I love that because Alchemist just knows how to tell a story with all of the beats, man. Like it feels effortless these days. And I think we need to be giving him a lot more praise than we do because he's just one of those producers that just does not know how to make a bad album. I don't remember the last really bad album he's made in a very long time. He makes this really luxurious sound that still sounds grimy and nasty. And you don't get that a lot from a lot of producers. So I think on the production side, this album is most definitely a plus when it comes to what the Alchemist laid down. When I get into the lyric side of things, Freddie's pen is still elite. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. I think Freddie Gibbs has one of the best pens in the game. He's been consistent on all of these albums, and I'm saying that's all the way back to Pinata. And a lot of people keep saying, well, he's a lot like Pusha T. He rhymes about the same gangster shit. He rhymes about selling drugs and selling dope and all this stuff. But when you hear what he's talking about and what he's really equating it to, the nigga is slick with it, just like Push. Push uses drug references to be able to mirror whatever was happening in his life at the moment. And I think that's smart. You have to be a smart rapper to be able to do that kind of shit. And Freddie Gibbs does the same thing. Like, I used to love her. That whole song is talking about the abusive relationship with a woman, but that woman is Gary Indiana on that song. Go back and listen to it. It's about Gary Indiana, which is crazy. But that's the type of pen Freddie Gibbs has. Now, I think it's been a couple people, especially podcasters, who are saying this is the best he's rapped in a very long time. I can't agree with that. I think the first Alfredo was some of the best rapping Freddie Gibbs has done. He's still elite on this album, but he ain't rapping like he was rapping on Alfredo 1. On Alfredo 1, it really felt like the rent was due. And he was actually getting his shit out there. This is still elite. It's still top tier, but nah, bruh. He's not matching what he was doing on Alfredo 1. And I'll argue anybody out there about that. I think he has a great lyrics. Lyrically, he's great on here. But on Alfredo 1, he was killing y'all. I think the funniest thing on this album to me is Gibbs and some of the stuff he gets into, like in Salada, where he's having a lot of drug talk and he ain't talking about snitching. Typical Freddie Gibbs when you think about it. But then the shots that he took on Empanadas, where he was talking about women who were trying to play him, which was probably his ex. He took shots at Benny the Butcher and Jim Jones. He said smacked him in Miami and the bitches in Buffalo. Yeah, Freddie Gibbs is on his shit again, which I get. He ain't gonna never let that beef go between him and Benny the Butcher. I don't know how these niggas bury the hatchet, man, because they do have music together, and I want to hear more music with them too on the same album. Jim Jones, that just goes to say everybody's beefing with Jim Jones these days. I love the fact that he gave a love letter to Gary and Anna in I Still Love Her. I brought that song up earlier, but that is one of my favorite songs on here. The way that he talks about this whole abusive relationship he has with this woman, but he's actually speaking about Gary and Anna, is like phenomenal, man. That just shows that Freddie Gibbs has one of the best pens in the game. One thing that I did think was kind of lame and I thought it was real stupid was on Gas Station Sushi, where he actually throws a direct shot at Currency, where he said, I could have ran that Fetty by myself. I'm the best with Al. Beefing with Currency is like beefing with like your uncle, bruh. It ain't nothing cool about that shit, man. You could have kept that. I think that was really one of the few things that I disliked about this album. I understand that they had some bad situation when it came to recording Fetty, and he felt like Currency didn't promote it enough, but don't nobody beef with Spitter, bruh. Nobody beefs with that nigga.
Let's talk about this Fetty project, though, man.
Come on, yeah, me and Freddie Gibbs, man. Let me tell you something. Me and Freddie Gibbs bumped into each other in Chicago 2 years after we said we were going to do the tape. And he tells me, Spitter, why don't you quit smoking weed so we could get the tape done? Like, the weed is what was stopping. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I immediately went to the studio with a copious amount of weed and got all the records done that day. And I sent them back to him, and then I was waiting for him.
Oh, the challenge.
Absolutely.
Challenge.
Yeah, I
So
did.
it
I
is
sent them
competitive.
7 records. I sent them 7 records the next day. You don't tell me about quit smoking weed. I smoked weed. I sent 7 records to him.
I thought you guys did this in 2 days, though.
Yeah, 2 days.
Oh, okay.
I sent 7 that day, and he sent back that 7 with his verses on it, and he sent me some records.
So why would you put that shot out there like that? I thought that was just classless, man. I thought he didn't have to do that. And honestly, that's really become a part of Freddie Gibbs' persona when it comes to people he want to beef with. He even brought up academics again, which I think that beef is old and tired. I understand some of the shots that he took because it's going to be up forever with him and Benny the Butcher, but when you go at Spitter, bruh, it ain't even worth it, man. Nobody gets into it with Currency. So I just felt like that just left a bad taste in my mouth. So this is also going to move me into something that I said earlier, which is splitting the spotlight between the production and the lyrics. I'm gonna be real with y'all, and I don't think many people have said this, and I might be the only person to say it. But if it wasn't for Alchemist and his production on this album, I really feel like we would be saying that Freddie Gibbs rhymes would feel a little bit more recycled, and that flex and that shit talking and all of that shit would really get a little bit worn down. But I feel like they work so well together, or they do so well as a team, that it still makes Freddie sound fresh. It makes Freddie sound like he's still like ahead of the game. I'm not saying that he can't rap. I'm just saying we would probably get tired by now. You have to remember his last album dropped in November, so we haven't had a long time to really breathe between albums. And I just feel like without Alchemist actually putting in the work and giving us such great production on this album, these rhymes would probably be a little bit more stale than what we think they are. So we have to give Alchemist a whole lot more credit on this album than what we have been, because I think his production is the foundation of why this album is so great. Another part of the album that I don't see a lot of people talking about, which I'm going to bring up, is the features. I think Jid on Gold Feet had the best standout verse on the album. I think Jid has been on a tear, and he's getting us ready for his new album that's going to drop next month, and I think he had one of the best on here. I always love when Anderson .Paak gets on a record with Freddie Gibbs. I think Ensalada is one of those things where you can hear the great chemistry. One of the features on here that did not work for me is the Larry June feature on Feeling. The energy was wrong. The tone didn't sound worth a damn. I don't know what it is, man. But like here recently, Larry June features have not been the best. I have not enjoyed a Larry June feature yet. I enjoy his albums. I know that his 2 albums that he dropped this year have been really good. But for some strange reason, it always feels like, to me, it feels like Larry June is kind of like phoning it in when he sits down with a lot of these artists and he's a feature on there. Like, I just feel like he could have did a way better job as a feature. That was probably one of the only gripes I had about this album, and maybe that's just a nitpick, but I just really did not like the Larry June feature. It just don't work for me at all. This is one of the smoothest flowing albums out right now. Outside of like the Clipse album, this is right up under there. Like it's so smooth and it flows so well. There are songs that I do want to skip, but I just don't, because everything goes into each other so well. The little interludes from their movie that's on here makes a lot of sense. Like, I love the fact that I can just hit play on this album from beginning to end and not have to skip anything. Even if I want to, I just don't. I think Alchemist might be one of the best people or best producers that knows how to sequence an album. He just knows how to make shit work. I don't know what it is about his ear. I don't know what it is about how his brain works, but you have to be a mad genius to be able to get an album to flow so well, especially a 48-minute album. People ain't putting those types of albums out there like that no more. And this is one of those ones that it's just amazing. The story that the production tells on here is unbelievable. So I have to give another big credit to Alchemist. He's one of the best in the game when it comes to making these albums sound so good. So my final verdict, this is top shelf. Alfredo 2 is not perfect, but it's damn near close to perfect. Like, I only really have a few gripes about this album, which is a feature and a diss, and that's it. But other than that, I don't really necessarily find a flaw in this album that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Freddie has been in the same lane for years, but he can still out-rap 90% of these rappers out here. I'm just telling you what I know because I hear it in his pen game. Alfredo 2, if it's not up for a Grammy this year, something is wrong with the system, because yet again, Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist has figured out a way to give us just a top tier album, sequencing, lyricism, production, you name it. Even the rollout that they had was pretty good. It wasn't on Clipse level, but it was still pretty good. So at the end of the day, if you have not heard Alfredo 2, it's on your streaming services right now. Go out and check it out. Before I close this episode out, there's a lot of conversation on the timeline about what's the better album. Is it Let God Sort 'Em Out by the Clipse, or is it Alfredo 2 with Freddie Gibbs? Now, we've only gotten a weekend with Alfredo 2. We've been sitting with Let God Sort 'Em Out for a couple weeks now. So I think right now it's a bit of unfair back and forth. But if you ask me, there's no doubt in my mind that Let God Sort Them Out is album of the year. There's nobody out rapping Malice right now. That is the biggest reason why Let God Sort Them Out is such a great album. Malice is killing a lot of rappers out here. And nobody's really saying it enough for my taste. But Let God Sort Them Out is one of those top tier albums that it's going to take a lot to be able to take it down. I don't know if anybody else is going to be able to do it. The only person who I may feel like could do it, and y'all going to think I'm crazy, but Drake. I think if Drake drops an elite album, he could overtake Let God Sort Them Out, and that's a if. But right now, if we're talking album of the year, if we're talking elite rapping, if we're talking elite production, we're talking about Let God Sort Them Out. There shouldn't be any more conversation about it. And maybe if I sit with Alfredo 2 for a few more weeks, maybe I could start making that conversation sound a little bit more balanced. But if you ask me, with the production, with the rapping, with the presentation, with the themes and everything, Let God Sort Them Out is the album of the year when it comes to hip hop right now. So if you wanted to find out what my thoughts are, there they are. Let God Sort Them Out is album of the year until somebody else comes and knocks that album off the top of the mountain. Period. So with that being said, I got nothing else for you guys. Thank you for your support. I will be back on Sunday to give you guys an update on the news. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys are getting notifications when I drop a video. Make sure you guys are commenting in the bottom of the comment section. If I said that right, I probably didn't. But thank you guys for your support, and I'll catch you on Sunday. Peace out.